What's up, everybody? TonyPizzaGuy here, back again with another video, and we got something pretty awesome I want to talk about, and that is New Japan Pro Wrestling getting into a video game market and announcing that they are going to be having a brand new video game. So if you're not familiar with New Japan Pro Wrestling, well, they have a big show coming up called Wrestle Kingdom. You might have heard about Chris Jericho versus Kenny Omega. That's a thing. But what you really need to know is that at Wrestle Kingdom Fan Festa 2018, that's on January 3rd. Wrestle Kingdom's on January 4th. Basically, their Fan Festa is similar to Access in WWE and WrestleMania, stuff like that. So what the idea here is that they are going to announce a brand new video game. And this is coming from the New Japan Pro Wrestling website. And they came out and just basically put their schedule of events. And it's on the website. It doesn't really have a lot of information about it. It's actually just put down as like at the very end of it, talking about the events there. And it talks about at 12:15 p.m. there's a New Japan Pro Wrestling video game announcement. That is right before the Wrestle Kingdom 12 open press conference. So we are looking at a brand new video game. Now this is going to either get you excited or not get you excited at all, because the last entry that New Japan Pro Wrestling actually came out with was a mobile game. And I was super excited for that mobile game. I was like, okay, this is going to be cool. The problem with the mobile game is it's in Japanese and it's very hard for me to understand the game and understand what I'm actually supposed to be doing in that mobile game. I would love to play that game, but I just can't get past the Japanese subtitle. There should be like English subtitles or something, but the Japanese translation just doesn't work for me, so I can't play the game. So what I'm hoping is that this is not a mobile game in Japanese, because that would be a double whammy, double sucker. And I'm thinking it's not, because they actually say video game announcement. And I think if you're going to announce a mobile game, you would go ahead and say, this is going to be a New Japan Pro Wrestling mobile game. I think that nowadays you should put video game as a console game or a PC game, and you could put mobile game if you're going to have a mobile game. I think that would make more sense, because anytime you see a WWE game, right, they do press conferences for a lot of mobile games. We had a bunch of games coming out, the latest of WWE Mayhem, and when they announced that, they said new mobile game is coming. So what I'm assuming is that we're going to get an actual game for the consoles and possibly for the PC and Steam. I think the best way to do this, right? Here's what I would do if I'm New Japan Pro Wrestling. I'm hoping they can listen and they can give us what they want. They can give us a game that's going to live up to the standards of what we want in a pro wrestling game. And now I know they're not going to give us a game like No Mercy or Virtual Pro Wrestling 2. That's the Japanese equivalent of No Mercy that people love, 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 love. AJ Styles' favorite video game of all time, by the way. Virtual Pro Wrestling 2. If you guys never played it, check it out. That you can get an English translation with an emulate. There's ways to get around it. But anyway, so what I'm saying is we need to get a proper console video game. I mean, with games like Fire Pro Wrestling, we got a Chikara game coming out. And knowing that like Steam is a big open platform, I think Steam would be a perfect fit for a New Japan Pro Wrestling game. You can get everybody in there. Tanahashi, Okada, Naito, Jericho maybe. Could we see Jericho in there? Because the thing with Chris Jericho is right now is he has come out and said, you know what, this isn't the only match I might be doing. This isn't the last you could see of Chris Jericho in New Japan Pro Wrestling. He said, I never actually said that is all I'm going to be doing. So there could definitely be some Chris Jericho video game in the works, and I think if he's going to Japan, being in a video game would make sense to put him in there, put Kenny Omega in there, even release it as Wrestle Kingdom. I know they had a Wrestle Kingdom game, but if they could do a Wrestle Kingdom 12 video game and have one come out every Wrestle Kingdom, no, that ain't going to happen. But if they did that, I think that would be a great contender, because right now, let's look at the current market of WWE games, right? Let's say that they're the only video game on the market, right? We have Fire Pro Wrestling, which is great, but when it comes to like the big dogs and the consoles and the major AAA titles, you got WWE, and that's it. So let's say that New Japan decides, you know, we're going to compete with WWE, because they can definitely compete now. They could make a contract with some Ring of Honor guys if they wanted. They could get some guys that are just not in WWE. Like I said, if they can get the Ring of Honor people involved, put them in the game as well with the New Japan Pro Wrestling game, and do like global wars and stuff like that, I think would be so sick. And just have Kenny Omega in there, the Young Bucks in there, like I said, Naito, Okada, Tanahashi, just everybody that you want to see from New Japan Pro Wrestling. Even, like I said, if somehow, somewhere they could get Chris Jericho and put him in there, I think that would be perfect. I think what we need is an English translation no matter what. I think this needs to be English first, Japanese second. I know that this is a Japanese company, but I think you need to have the English text on the screen, or at least have an option for English text. If they want to do both, they could definitely do both. I think with Steam, it could open that platform where people could translate it, and it'd be super easy for them to translate it, even if they just release in Japanese. Steam gives you that option for modding and PC and all that stuff, and I'm okay with that, because honestly, if we get a really good game on Steam that's equivalent to like a Fire Pro or something, even if we get like a Virtual Pro Wrestling 2, which is, my hopes are getting way up, I don't think that would actually happen, but I really want an English version of the game. I think a lot of people want an English version of the game, because if it's not in English, it's going to turn people away. And I don't think anybody's really even talked about the New Japan Pro Wrestling mobile game, because there is not that English translation, and that's the big issue here. Is there's just no crossover. And now that they have the New Japan Pro Wrestling US title, the IWGP US title, I think that they need to get that crossover with the America and the English. And I think that would be a perfect time. But honestly, I'm super excited about this. I hope that this announcement is something coming to PS4, Xbox One, Steam, at least Steam. I will be happy with that, because, you know, my computer can handle it. It's probably not going to be that intense. Even if it is, I can still handle it. So I'll be okay with the Steam. And the thing with Steam as well is I'm okay, because the PC gaming, there's a lot of modding involved. You can have some cool stuff. And if it's a solid wrestling title, it'll be interesting. And like I said, they need to release it. I think if they announce it, I don't know if they're going to call it Wrestle Kingdom 12 or when they're going to do it, but I think if they do it around this time and they announce it, and every year, I think if they're going to make a yearly title, Wrestle Kingdom would be a great release date, because you have that going up against the WWE game. Because the cycle of the WWE 2K games is that people play it, and they usually get bored with it into the first year of the next year. I mean, you got a couple months, and then people are kind of slowly fading out. I mean, people get it for Christmas and stuff like that. But then, like the people that have got on a day one release for the WWE games, they're kind of slowly fading out, and you're losing interest, 6 months to a year into the game. So I think releasing it on January 4th, Wrestle Kingdom, having a game coming out every year would be super for them. Even if they don't do it every year, just do it like every other year, or maybe just release a solid game title with updates. There's an idea, right? Because I've had this, and I know I'm going off on a tangent here, but this is what I wanted to talk about. And this is my idea, right? And I think one of the sports titles is doing this. Madden, maybe? I could be wrong. I can't remember though. But I think what they need to do here is release a game, right? A really solid game, and then have updates for a year. Like one whole year is just updates. You get new roster, you get new rings, you get new attires, you get entrance music, you get new stories in their story mode. You get all that stuff that's chalked into the game for an entire year. It's DLC that just keeps coming out for an entire year. You can charge whatever you want for it. You can have it keep coming out, and then it'll be a money maker for you. If you have a really solid core base of a game, releasing DLC for an entire year, keep going and going and going. Even throw in some free DLC just for do it. Just do it. Just throw in some free DLC, and I think people would buy into that as well. So what you do is you do that, you do all that, and then you keep working on the next year's game title as you go. So you have a whole year that the game is not out. So you have, let's say, Wrestle Kingdom 12, right? That's the idea for the game. Wrestle Kingdom 12, and then you skip Wrestle Kingdom 13, and then Wrestle Kingdom 14, you release another game. But in that meantime, you have the Wrestle Kingdom 13 DLC. You release DLC every month, or however you want to do it. But I think ring aprons, attires, moves, wrestlers, music, all that stuff, story mode stuff, you release that without the year, and then you could have something awesome. Anyway, I went off a little bit, and I kind of got carried away, but that's the news here. New Japan Pro Wrestling is having a video game announcement. I'm assuming it's going to be a console or Steam game based off of this not being listed as mobile game. We can only hope. And even if it is a mobile game, can you please give us an English translation? That's all I want. I want an English translation of your game, whatever it may be for, because I want to play this game. So if you are out there and you are going to release this game, New Japan Pro Wrestling, if you're out there listening, watching this video, please give me an English translation of this. Or if you're a modding community and they do release this for Steam, can you please give us English translation? I think it needs to be an English translation. I think it needs to happen. Put some Ring of Honor crossover in there and you'll have something special. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think about this. Do you think it's going to be a mobile game? Do you think it's going to be a console game? It's going to be for Xbox, PS4, Steam. What's going to happen? And you guys, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Make sure you smash that like button if you enjoy this. And as always, I'm TonyPizzaGuy, and we'll see you in another video.